specific interest in the arts. I think that the amazing, creative, thoughtful people in this community are really what set us apart from many other communities.
Hi, I'm Shawn Turner with Bernalillo County Economic Development. Thank you so much for joining me today on Biz Moments, a program designed to share business tips from local business leaders. We are about businesses thriving in Bernalillo County. Our goal is constant. Today I'm joined by Roy Johnson of Sumner and Dene Gallery, who recently spoke at our How to Take Your Art to Market Business Summit. Roy, great to see you.
Thanks for having me back.
No problem. You are an icon in art and culture in Bernalillo County and beyond, so when you speak, people listen. I'd like us to listen now to the clip from that workshop regarding the cocktail story.
The cocktail story is about you. Each of you have a cocktail story, but it's got to be a cocktail story. We don't want a biography. We don't want an epic novel. What this cocktail story is when I'm standing there with my cocktail, this isn't a bottle of wine story, this is a cocktail story, Christina. While I'm drinking that cocktail, I have to tell Christina something about that artist. So it's 5 sentences, 6 sentences. It's a couple of minutes about what makes you unique and who you are. If I sat down and had a cocktail with each of you, I could find, by asking you questions, I could find a cocktail story about you. Chris paints in the nude. He listens to the Rolling Stones. He's won about 3 major public art awards. He studies at the British of London, and one of his biggest collectors is Elton John. There's a cocktail story.
Okay, so Roy, now we know about the cocktail story. Tell us why it's important. Why does the artist really need that cocktail story?
The cocktail story is a very strong marketing tool. First of all, it helps the seller, the art dealer, tell a fun, memorable resume, story, biography on the artist. The reasons why people buy art isn't just because it's a beautiful piece of jewelry or a beautiful piece of pottery or a beautiful painting. Part of it is the actual intrinsic, the actual legacy of that artist, the cocktail story on that artist. So if the seller, art dealer has a fun story to tell on the artist, it just helps in terms of the actual sales process. Right. It also helps the purchaser validate that purchase. Because one of the things that we're thinking about when we're going to buy art is we're thinking about how our friends and our peer and our family are going to validate that purchase as well. So if I have a cocktail story, then when you come over to my house and we're having cocktails, I can tell that story.
Okay, great. So it's really akin in business outside of the creative economy to the elevator speech. You also have another business basic across the board in your the workshop presentation, which was people do business with people they know and people they like. Anybody who has done any training in sales knows that. You seem to think that the artist needs to do that as well. Let's take a look.
If you have the talent, you can make a very nice living in this country working as an artist. You have to get out of the studio. I'm sorry. You have to go out and build those relationships. You have to make contact. Can your spouse do it? Can a rep do it? I hope not. Because you can't have a relationship with me and have your brother be between us. That's not a relationship. That's called a three-way. That's not a relationship. So keep it personable, because our business is personable. It's about peoples and personalities as much as the art.
Okay, so Roy, what happens? How does somebody mentor, coach, whether themselves or perhaps someone that they're representing, an artist, to get out of the studio? Because I've you know, I know some artists and they just want to be in creating. They go, that's not my job. My job is not going out. I don't need to know anybody. I just need to make my art. What do you say to them about that?
Sometimes it does take an effort, because if they are a visual artist, then it is a much more private process.
Okay.
Otherwise, they would be a performing artist.
Okay.
So it's something that they just have to work out, because it's such an enormous part of the actual business of art. Especially here in Bernalillo County in the state of New Mexico, there are so many talented artists for us to choose from that we can pick and choose our favorite friend artist, those ones that we love, those ones that we respect. So I just encourage artists to realize that the public and the people outside of the studio is your family.
Okay.
They're your friends. And so think of them that way. Don't think of like, oh my gosh, it's the consumer out there. Treat everybody as if they're your best friend or your sister or your brother.
Okay. Roy, thank you so much for being here today.
But thanks for having me.
No problem. I'll see you at the gallery. And thank you for joining us on Biz Moments from Bernalillo County Economic Development. If you'd like to know more, please call us at 505-468-7185 or visit us on the web, www.bernco.gov.